Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Indie Zone podcast. My name is Kathy. On April 14th, 2025, the parties are due to file their proposed respective jury instructions, with the parties then filing on or before the 21st of April their objections to any of the other side's proposed jury instructions, or to advise the court if there is an agreement on any of the jury instructions. There will be 5 separate jury instructions in this case that, after the case in chief, the guilt phase concludes, Judge Hippler will turn to the jury and address them and go over what the instructions are for each of the 5 counts that Mr. Kohberger is facing, to which he remains innocent under the eyes of the law until or unless that jury adjudicates him guilty or he pleads guilty. Judge Hippler will play a very important role here, as does the jury, in going over what they must find under the law to adjudicate Mr. Kohberger either guilty beyond a reasonable doubt or not guilty based on what was proffered in the courtroom, inquiring, did the state meet its burden of proof, of proving each and every element of each of the 5 counts against Mr. Kohberger or not. And the elements of a crime are found within the statutes that prohibit those crimes. For example, if we look at the indictment that was filed back on the 16th of May, 2023, while this matter was still in Latah County, it charges Mr. Kohberger with 5 criminal counts, all first-degree felonies. The first, burglary. The second, as to Madison. Third count as to Kaylee. Fourth count as to Xana, and 5th count as to Ethan. Each one of these counts cite to a statute in Idaho that prohibits this behavior. Let's look at count 1, page number 1 at the bottom of the indictment. And again, you can look at it by going to the Idaho Cases of Judicial Interest website, which I have provided a link to. Go down to the Kohberger case, May 16th, and you can pull up the grand jury indictment. Count 1, burglary. Idaho Code, Section 18-1401, 1403, regards this as a first-degree felony in that state. And what this indictment says, and it's going to be language taken from the statute, that the defendant, Brian C. Kohberger, in capital letters, on or before November 13th, 2022, in Latah County, state of Idaho, did unlawfully enter a residence located at 1122 King Road, Moscow, with the intent to commit the felony crime of murder. And if you look up that statute, that language is probably going to be very close to what that statute says. These are the elements of the crime that will be in the jury instruction. For example, did you find that Mr. Kohberger, on or about November 11th, 2022, yes or no, in Latah County, state of Idaho, did unlawfully enter a residence, yes or no, located at 1122 King Road, Moscow, yes or no, and with the intent to commit the felony crime of unaliving, yes or no. That's what roughly a jury instruction will be. Much more eloquent than that, but that's basically what that instruction will be read to the jury, and that's what the parties are probably working on right now, what their proposed jury instructions to get to the court to see if the court accepts, rejects, or does something else with regard to what the instructions will be. This will now conclude this episode of the Indie Zone podcast. Thank you for joining us here today.